are 9 or 10 feet long. So that would be how a little less than 3 meters, right? Okay. What is a male? Males are the animals which doesn't lay eggs or give birth to babies, all right? Females are the ones which lay eggs or give birth. Okay, so the animals can be divided into two groups, right? Males average between 810 and 1,000 pounds, so they are extremely heavy, while females are lighter on average. Males average between 800 and 1,000 pounds. What does average mean? Average is the number that you get when you add up some numbers. You divide the total with the number of numbers that you have added. That is an average, okay? So, like average of 2 and 4 would be 3, because you add 2 and 4, which is 6, and divide by 2, because I added 2 numbers. So the average of 2 and 4 is 3. So what is pounds then? 1 pound is how long? No, I mean how heavy is 1 pound? Okay, it's around 0.45 okay kilograms. Understand? So it's like a half a kilogram. So if they average between 800 and 1,000 pounds, they would be around like 400 kilograms. So they're quite heavy. So they are extremely heavy. What does extremely mean? What does extreme mean? Extreme means very great in degree or intensity, all right? While females are lighter on average. Okay? Alligators typically live for 30 to 40 years, but some captive specimens have survived as long as 75 years. Alligators typically live. What does typically mean? Typical is the adjective of type, all right? So typical would mean having the most usual characteristics of that type, all right? So if you say typically, it means normally. So they normally live for 30 to 40 years, but some captive specimens, captive, what does that mean, captive? Captive means that they are caught, all right? And they are like imprisoned or enclosed in an area, so they can't go freely anywhere, okay? Captive specimens. What's a specimen? Specimen is one single animal or a plant, all right? Which can be an example of that type of animal or plant, all right? And specimens are examined by scientists. That's a specimen. Have survived. What does survive mean? Survive means they continue to live and not die. As long as 75 years. Now, to answer your question, Michelle, what was the question of Michelle? what's the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? Most notably, alligators have wide U-shaped snouts, while crocodiles have narrower V-shaped snouts. Most notably, what does that mean? What does notable mean? What does note mean? Note means you know. You understand? So notable means it's quite recognizable. You understand? Alligators have wide U-shaped snouts. What is a snout? Snout is the long nose of an animal such as a pig, alright? While crocodiles have narrower V-shaped snouts. What is wide and what is narrow? Wide means from one side to the other side, the distance is large. While if something is narrow, the distance between one side to the other is small, alright? So let me show you what this means. This would mean approximately something like this. What did they say? Alligators have U-shaped snouts. Okay, this is like the eyes and the nose. All right, it's U-shaped and it's wide. While the crocodile has V-shaped snouts. All right, they are narrow. Okay, so this is how you differentiate an alligator and a crocodile. Okay. There are, of course, other differences, but that's a quick and easy way to tell them apart. Tell them apart. What does tell mean? If you tell the difference, that means you know the difference. Do you understand? Let's move to the next part.
American alligators are found in Florida and the other states abutting the Gulf of Mexico. They spend lots of time in the water, but they can't breathe underwater. Swampy land is their favorite habitat. They breed in spring, starting at around the age of 10. After mating, the female builds a mound-shaped nest made of mud, leaves, twigs, and other vegetation. It's high because it needs to be above the water. After building the nest, the female digs a hole in the middle and lays around 20 to 40 eggs. The eggs take about 65 days to hatch.
Okay, what was this part about? They are about where the alligators live, right? And how they build the nest to lay eggs. Let's look at this part. American alligators are found in Florida and the other states abutting the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, they are found in Florida. Where's Florida? Florida is the southeast part of the United States. Do you see this? Florida. So this is the whole of the United States, and this part is Florida. This is where they live, okay? And the other states abutting the Gulf of Mexico. And the other states, what's a state? Hold on. State is a city, all right? So if you say United States, that means there are a lot of states, countries together. And some other states abutting the Gulf of Mexico. What does abut mean? Abut. Oh my God. Abut means it's next to it. The states next to the Gulf of Mexico. What is a gulf? Gulf is a large area of sea. Do you understand? Which is surrounded by land, but it's not completely surrounded, because if it's completely surrounded, it couldn't be a sea. All right. So, where is the Gulf of Mexico then? It's right here below the United States, and it's a large area of sea surrounded by land. So other states abutting the Gulf of Mexico would be like Mississippi, Louisiana, what else? Texas. Okay. They spend lots of time in the water, but they can't breathe underwater. Swampy land is their favorite habitat. Swampy. What does that mean, swampy? What's a swamp? Swamp is a very wet area of land where wild plants grow. You understand? Is their favorite habitat. What's a habitat? Habitat is where the animals live, or where the plants grow. Okay? They breed in spring starting around the age of 10. They breed. What does that mean? Breed. Breed means have babies, alright? After mating, the female builds a mound-shaped nest made of mud, leaves, twigs, and other vegetation. After mating, what does mate mean? Mate means animals having sex to produce the young. The female builds a mound-shaped nest, mound-shaped. So the shape is like a mound. What's a mound? Mound is a large rounded pile of something. Do you understand? In baseball, the pitcher who throws the ball stands on the mound, alright? Mound-shaped nest. Nest is the home of the birds. They make it to lay eggs. Made of mud, leaves. What is mud? Mud is the sticky mixture of earth and water. Leaves, twigs. What is a twig? Twig is a small branch, alright? And other vegetation. What is vegetation? Vegetation is plants, trees, flowers, alright? It's high because it needs to be above the water. After building the nest, the female digs a hole in the middle and lays around 20 to 40 eggs. The female digs. What does dig mean? Dig means make a hole in the ground. And lays around. What does lay mean? Lay means produce eggs by pushing it out of the body. Okay. Eggs take about 65 days to hatch. What does hatch mean? Hatch means the baby bird inside the egg breaks the egg to get out. That's hatching. Let's listen to more.
The female doesn't sit on the nest like a bird, but she does remain close by to guard her eggs. Small animals like raccoons often try to dig up the eggs and eat them. When the eggs are ready to hatch, the baby alligators start making chirping noises, which attract the mother. She digs up the eggs and helps them hatch. When they hatch, the baby alligators are 8 to 10 inches long and are black with yellow stripes. This color scheme helps them hide among vegetation from predators. Mother alligators also stay with their young and protect them for up to 2 years. However, many young die, and only 1 in 20 survives to adulthood.